Uh, there it goes. And then we will blast that out to everybody after as well. So you can go back and review it, take notes. But main focus for today is just to be able to be present and just go crush it. Just go crush it. So what are the main things you guys are struggling with right now in your business? And we'll start with you, Adrian. Where do you feel like you need to improve the most? We'll kind of just go down the line and see where you guys are struggling the most in your business and find out where we can dive in right now to make immediate results.
For me, it's going to be lead gen.
Lead gen. Okay.
I need to be better at lead genning, more consistency.
Okay. Carter?
I would say just role playing, honestly.
Role play. Love role playing. I do a lot of that with you guys. All right, Andy, where are you at, brother?
Can you hear me?
Yep. Tell me
Oh,
what
okay.
you need the most help with.
I feel like I could always be more focused and a little bit more consistent, but what I need the most help with is really having better conversations at the door, knowing what questions to ask, and knowing how to convert better, I'd say.
Awesome. So role playing. I'm going to pick on you
Yeah.
today. You're going to be my pick on child.
Okay.
Ruben, tell me where you're struggling the most.
I just need to figure out what to say at the door. It's not so much on motivation or nothing. I need to know. Yep.
Okay. And Kiana, where do you think you need the most help?
Mine is converting at a higher level.
Okay. And I think that's going to have to do with role play. If we dive into your role plays, we'll be able to find out what you need help with and why, and how to best facilitate that. Alex, where do you feel like you need the most help?
Just knowing exactly what questions to ask and the order to ask them.
Alex, pull up your pretty mug. These guys need to see your face.
I don't have a video thingy.
What a slacker, guys! This is Alex that I talked about on the Brandon Morner show. He looks like he's 12, so I wanted you guys to see that. How many you got under contract right now, Alex?
6 or 7.
Sweet. Okay, guys.
Hey,
we're gonna keep
Dwayne.
drinking. What's that?
Do you mind if I share the link with Michelle? Because she's over here with me. And so she wants to be able to just, okay.
Yep. Go ahead. All right, Wesley, you popped in a different order here. Tell me where you feel like you need the most help.
So I feel like I need the most help in pretty much just this getting into the script of how to talk to people face to face. And so I guess you could call that lead generation, but door to door specifically.
Love it. Okay, sounds like that's where we need to start, you guys, is the door approach. Okay, Best lead sources, what questions to ask, and then we need to move into conversion. So what I'm going to do through this is I want to get deep into your business, and I'm going to pick on a couple of you guys to role play through this. I'm going to record this conversation, and just so you guys all, this whole thing is being recorded so that I can send you a recorded version out to everyone after to go back and take notes, to try to compose what you feel like you need to change, how you need to change it, what you need to do to make your business a different level. So first of all, we're going to pick on Wesley. Wesley, I'm going to have you do the door approach. I'm pulling up an audio recorder. How many of you guys are recording your pitch at the door? Wesley is. Wesley, do you have any recordings?
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not. Okay.
I'm not.
Andy, do you have any recordings? I saw you raise your hand.
I do. I have a recording that I tried yesterday.
Let's do it. I want to hear it.
How do I? Oh, wait. I don't know if the mic's going to be able to pick it up, but let's see. Let us see. Okay, we'll do this one. Can you hear it? I put it in my coat pocket, so there's like the noise.
That's all right.
The ambient noise.
No, this is going to be good because I want you guys to do the recordings. Nathan, glad you made it on here, brother. So I want you to do the recordings, and you're going to have muffled noise in them, but that is real live footage of what you guys are seeing on a daily basis. That's going to help me diagnose where you guys are at, what you need to change, and how you need to change it. So go ahead and play that.
Do you hear it right now?
No.
Okay.
Let's just record one. Let's do it. Ready?
Okay.
I got my phone out. We're ready to go. Hey, man, how's it going? Yeah, you're the agent. Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. Okay. Hey, yeah, my name's Andy. I'm a real estate agent. Did your neighbors tell you I was gonna be popping by today?
Oh, they didn't. No.
Oh, okay. All good. Yeah, I was just popping by in the neighborhood because I actually have some buyers currently looking in the area, and I was just curious to see if you had ever considered selling in the future.
No, not right now.
Okay, okay, all good. Would you say this is the home you're gonna stay in forever?
Probably not. I think we'll move at some point.
Okay, and if you were going to move, at what would it be in like 3 to 5 years or 5 to 10 years?
It's probably going to be 3 or 4 years from now.
What's happening in 4 years that makes you want to
We
move?
just want, we just want to get some of our kids graduated and then maybe we'll upgrade a little bit.
Okay, is there anything that you would currently change about your home right now, since you do mention upgrading?
No, we like it. I mean, we just, getting less kids in the house, I can get more toys and so I'd want a bigger garage and, some different things like that. But I mean, we're comfortable.
Right, right. So you're comfortable, but you would have a bigger garage and you're looking to upgrade in the future. Well, if there was a way where you could possibly make that happen sooner, but also save $20,000 to $50,000, would you be opposed to learning a bit more about that?
No, I'd be interested. How would you save me that money though?
Well, okay, now I'm a little bit stumped because I was gonna go into I was gonna try to go into I'm sorry to interrupt it, but I wanted to go into like talk about rates and everything, but I didn't ask enough information about your situation. So I didn't know if it was a situation where you were gonna say, you were just keeping the home and renting it out, or you were gonna sell it.
Keep
because then
going.
that
Just
would-
take off. Just take
Yeah,
off. Keep
okay,
going
yeah.
like you didn't stop.
Okay.
So how are you going to save me that money, Andy?
Yeah, well, I'm stumped, honestly. I'm stumped. I didn't get that far. Yeah.
Okay, good. So where did you learn that script?
From you online. Yeah.
You guys see how quickly he picked up that off the Brandon Mulrennan show? That is my exact script. If you guys will use that to a T, you are going to get so far in the business. Alex and Carter have been coaching with me for a long time. And, isn't it crazy that he's picked that up just in overnight? I mean, a couple days. It's amazing.
That's pretty nuts.
That is pretty spot on. So I'm going to go back through and you said exactly what I would say getting to that point.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So I would not change anything. I want to play this though, just so you can hear yourself and make sure everybody can hear it and go through it. How's it going? Can you guys hear that okay?
Yeah, I can.
You're the agent. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Hey, yeah, my name's Andy. I'm a real estate agent. Did your neighbors tell you I was gonna be popping by today?
Oh, they didn't. No.
Oh, okay, all good. Yeah, I was just popping by in the neighborhood because I actually have some buyers currently looking in the area, and I was just curious to see if you had ever considered selling in the future.
No, not right now.
Okay, all good. Would you say this is the home you're gonna stay in forever?
Probably not. I think we'll move at some point.
Okay, and if you were going to move.
Andy, can you catch what you're saying? Your filler words?
Yeah, I have a lot of filler. Yeah.
Watch those because the more filler you use, the less confident you sound. So you want to cut out as much filler stuff as you can and make it to where it's just more direct and to the point. Okay. It's not bad. These aren't huge bad filler words and you're not pausing going,
Yeah.
And what would it be like? It's probably going to be 3 or 4 years from now.
What's happening in 4 years?
We just want to get some of our kids graduated and then maybe we'll upgrade a little bit.
Okay. Is there anything that you would currently change about your home right now since you do mention upgrading?
No, we like it. I mean, we just, getting less kids in the house, I can get more toys and so I'd want a bigger garage and, some different things like that. But I mean, we're comfortable.
Right. So you're comfortable.
So typically, would you want to ask that question? Hey, what would you change about your house? It's not a bad question. And you're asking them to pull up negative about the house they're currently in. But is that going to push them closer to a close right there? Are we ready for that question yet?
I don't know. Were we ready for that question?
So let me ask you this. How can you dial in and know exactly how they're going to respond every time when you ask them a question such as, hey, what things would you want to change? What if they say nothing?
Yeah.
How are you going to respond to that?
I'm not sure. It's hard to dial it in. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the
Yeah.
questions you ask, you want to be very careful as you question-based sell through this, that you're asking the questions that you know how they're going to respond. Right?
Right.
In today's
Oh.
market, can you knock on the door too and say, hey, I've got a bunch of buyers wanting to buy in this neighborhood. Now, in all the markets throughout the US, there's a lot more inventory right now. And you could still say that, but I think you're going to get a lot further even starting out by going, hey, the market's shifted drastically. And a lot of people are curious what the market's going to do. Have you thought about buying or selling real estate in the near future? Because that's going to work for every market. And it's also going to be able to make it to where you don't tell yourself to like, okay, what buyers do you have?
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So just be leery. It's not a bad question at all, but you got to be careful and you got to know how to respond, Andy, if they say no. Because if they say no, there's nothing we want to change. And then you go, oh crap, what do I say? Right.
Yeah. Right.
Just like what happens in a minute. Okay. Listen.
Bigger garage and you're looking to upgrade in the future. Well, if there's a way.
So one thing that I'd also tell you is when you repeat back to them what they want, it tells me you're trying to scramble to figure out what to say next. And so you're repeating back to me what I said because you're like, oh crap, I'm going to say what he said so I can think about where I'm going to go from here.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So you want to eliminate that the best you can. You don't want to repeat.
Okay.
You want to get to where you're just super confident in the direction you're going to take and how you're going to take it and why you're going to get them where they need to go. Okay.
Where you could possibly make that happen sooner, but also save $20,000 to $50,000. Would you be opposed to learning?
Okay, I'm going to let you listen to this question again. This is a closing question that is crazy important. And you guys, when I do this, I'm going to dissect the crap out of what you do because it's the little simple things that you do that keeps you from making a sale. Okay.
Be more comfortable. Right. So you're comfortable, but you have a bigger garage. And you're looking to upgrade in the future. Well, if there was a way where you could possibly make that happen sooner, but also save $20,000 to $50,000.
If there was a way that could possibly happen sooner, but and save $20,000 to $30,000, whatever you said there. Notice how long your question is.
Yeah.
Right. If you could point it down to just say, hey, if we could save you $30,000 to $40,000, would you move sooner?
Mm.
What is the most important thing when it comes to real estate that is going to cause people to want to move or cause people to transact quicker?
Trying to time the market.
Okay. But what does timing the market do?
It saves you money.
So it's money, right?
Yeah.
So money is the number one driving factor of any possibility of what's happening, right? And yes, timing the market has to do with money.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to drive that home and you want them to ask the question that I ask you.
Would you be opposed to learning a bit more about that? No, I'd be.
So then you say, would you be opposed to learning more about that? I wouldn't go to that question because you're essentially saying, getting them to say, yeah, I'm not very confident right now and saying, hey, you should do this. You're saying, hey, would you be opposed to learning more? You shouldn't have to, because if you ask that question bluntly and boldly enough, just saying, hey, if I could save you $20,000 to $30,000, would you consider doing it sooner? If they're either going to say yes or no at that point.
Right.
And if they say no and they're not concerned about money, are you probably going to be able to turn this client?
No.
No, you're probably not. Okay. If they say yes, what did they just give you permission to do?
To pitch them essentially.
You got it. They want to know how that you're going to save that money. So really, you shouldn't have to ask for that question.
Yeah.
Right. You want to lead with another question after that.
Okay.
How many questions has Andy asked so far, you guys? You guys been keeping track?
Was it
Anybody?
5 or 6?
He's
I got
asked,
about 5 or 6.
what's that? 6?
I have
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
5.
yes, 5.
Okay. Good work, you guys. Good work. And now he's going to turn it into about 15 to 20 more. Okay. And it should only be guided through questions. So now at this point, we're at the process where it's now time for him to close the deal because he's got him interested. If they say, yeah, how are you going to do this? They want to know how they're going to save that money. So now he's got to turn it into questions and close them.
Interesting. How would you save me that money though? Well, I Okay, now I'm a little bit stuck because I was gonna go into because then I was gonna try to go into
No, so why did the momentum shift, Andy?
I don't know. I just didn't. I got stumped. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, right. So you paused, but the question is, the reason the momentum shift is because you asked me a question. Would you want to learn more about this?
Yeah.
Okay. And then once whoever's asking the questions is 100% in control of the conversation.
Oh, so it shift because you asked the question.
You got it. So when I
Yeah.
said to him, I was like, so how are you going to do that? And Andy goes, oh crap. And then I'm going to bust Andy with another question. Now I own the conversation and I've got Andy on his back heels.
Yeah.
And when I'm asking the questions, I dominate the conversation and I'm going to win. If you guys haven't read Psychology of Selling, I would tell you that's the next book you need to buy and listen to and crank that out. It will help you know how the psychology behind question-based selling works. Alex, I'm going to pick on you. I want you to take over.
Oh no.
Yep. Here you go, brother. So at this point, I'm like, so you just asked me the question, hey, if I could save $20,000 to $30,000, would you consider doing it sooner? And I'm like, yeah. If I could save that much money, go.
I would just run into like, okay, like how familiar are you with the market?
Okay. I mean, I think the market's sitting. So I don't think a lot of houses are selling right now and prices are coming down.
Okay, why do you think that's happening?
Just my neighbor's house, 2 houses up. It's been sitting for like a month and a half and hasn't sold. It's a really nice house.
What do you think is causing that?
I don't know. It's probably just interest rates.
Yeah. Do you feel like interest rates are pretty high right now?
Yeah. They're like, from what I understand, I think they're like 5.5 or 6 is what the billboards say on the freeway.
Yeah. They're actually above 6 right now. A lot of people feel that way with rates. What do you think is going to happen? And sorry, one before you head into that, what timeline did you give him?
What did I say? It's 4 years.
4 years. Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen in the next 4 years with rates?
Oh,
I'll just say next year.
No, for sure they're going to come back down.
What do you think they'll come back down to?
Yeah, who knows? I hope they come back down to like 1.5%, but I don't know if that's.
That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Let's just say they do. What do you think is going to happen in the market if they get that low?
Oh, rates come down again. I think the market will go back up.
How much more do you think it'll go up?
That's hard to say. When they were down during the COVID times, we were in the 2s. Crap, it was bidding war everywhere.
Yeah. So homes are going like 50, 60K over asking. It wasn't super uncommon. I don't know if you've heard any of that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So do you feel like with where rates are right now, it's put a damper on the market? There isn't as many buyers out there?
Yeah, I think it's definitely slowed people down to where they couldn't afford it.
Yeah. And what do you think that does to your negotiating ability?
Like for me buying the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll probably help me.
How much do you think it'll help?
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't put in any offers yet.
Yeah. Have you heard of buyers getting closing costs covered by the sellers?
No.
Okay. So I have about 6 homes under contract right now. And with all 6, the sellers are paying for the buyer's closing costs. They're paying,
That's great.
over $15,000 for the buyer's closing costs, which is crazy, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Do you feel like when rates come down? Oh, and by the way, they're all under asking that we were under contract at. Do you feel like if rates come back down, do you think that negotiating ability will go away?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if rates come down, there's more people in the market and the sellers will have a little bit more of an advantage, I would think.
Of course. Yeah, of course. How much are you expecting that interest rate change to save you?
I mean, interest rates are high right now, so it would cost me quite a bit of money to buy now. That's probably why I'd hold off.
Yeah. So how much do you think it'll cost?
I don't know. I'd probably say $700 or $800 a month.
Okay. And over, 4 years, how much do you think that is?
Well, it's $700 a month times 12. That's 84 times 4 years. I'm about 32,000 bucks, 35,000.
Yeah. And just kind of with what we've talked about, sorry, I'm going in like a massive circle. With what we've talked about, do you feel like we could make up for that cost just with where the market's at right now?
Potentially. I mean, sounds like you're getting a little bit of a discount, and it sounds like it'd be a wash if you're saving some closing costs and getting a little bit of a discount.
Okay, we'll stop right there. I feel
Cool.
like I'm going in too big of a circle.
No, this is good. So what did you guys catch with Alex? Alex has done this with me for a while. Did you see how many questions he's asked?
Like a million.
Okay. That's what you should be doing on every approach. There should be a ton of telling, because you'll learn that telling is not selling. You've got to go through and ask questions. Now, I'm going to replay some of this. Some of Alex's questions are phenomenal. Some are too much. And let's go through and break it down and talk about it. Okay. This is why Alex has got 6 under contract right now. He's doing a good enough job that he's getting a lot of the people to help understand where they're at and why they're doing what they're doing. Okay. Let's break it down and go through it.
It's gonna happen. And sorry, before you get into that, what timeline did you give him?
Why is it important that he knows a timeline?
Because
I have nothing to go off of if I don't have it. I can't talk numbers.
100%. So you cannot give a dollar amount of what he would save without knowing a timeline. And because I gave the timeline, it's true. I said 4 years. Okay. We're going to talk about some other stuff here. What did I say? 4 years?
4 years. What do you think's gonna happen in the next 4 years with rates?
Oh, I think that
next year.
no, for sure they're going to come back down.
What do you think they'll come back down to?
Yeah, who knows? I hope they come back down to like 1.5%, but I don't know if that's realistic.
That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Let's just say what do you think's gonna happen in the market
Oh, rates come down again. I think the market will go back up.
So let's pause there for just a second. So he goes into rates. What do you think rates will do? Okay. He missed a huge opportunity right there. What opportunity, Alex, did you miss? Carter, anybody catch that?
Sorry, repeat that one more time.
You missed a huge opportunity right there. I said rates are going to come back down. And then you asked me to what percentage, and then you moved on. What question did you miss that would have potentially started the closing process right there?
Time.
Okay. What do you mean by time?
Like asking when they'll get that low.
Okay. Why is that important?
Well, because it gives me, then I can backwards math it. Like, how much is that going to save you over that period of time?
What backwards math did you use instead?
Like not that.
You used 4 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you used 4 years. What if I would have said, hey, I think the rates are going to drop in 6 months?
Yep.
And then I would have said, hey, it's costing me an extra $700 a month. And if I could refinance in 6 months, it's only $4,200. Does it make a heck of a lot more sense now to buy than $30,000 in savings?
Yep.
So you guys, you've got to watch for those little nuggets in which you can get good closing questions right there. Because that was an opportunity he could have right there slammed and made a huge impact in 20 seconds into his conversation. Okay, let's keep going.
Go up.
Well, that's hard to say.
Instead, he jumped into the housing market. Hey, if rates come down, how much is the housing market going to jump? Which isn't bad. But if he already had one nail in the coffin, then he could drive 3 more in there with what housing prices are going to go to. Right? Let's keep listening.
They were down during the COVID tax. We were in the twos. Crap, it was bidding war everywhere.
Yeah. So homes are going like 50, 60K over asking. Wasn't super uncommon. I don't know if you heard any of that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay, so he just said 50 to 60K over list price. Is that pretty common in what it was doing back in the day when we had all the multiple offers? Has everybody been agents long enough to do that?
It wasn't uncommon.
Okay. So if we ought to drill that home. So if we set an average 50, 60K. I want to just say $30,000. Okay. Cut it in half. Because what you want to do is you want to paint a picture that's better than what it would have been, better than average. You want to under promise and crazy over deliver on your sales process. So if it's 50 to 60K, let's just say, hey, let's just cut it in half and say it was 30,000 bucks to be on the low side. Now I got 30,000 bucks. Let's keep going. But you also have to say, hey, remember this, because we're going to talk about this and see if it makes sense.
So do you feel like with the rates on right now, it's put a damper on the market, or isn't as many buyers out there?
Listen to that question and do it one more time.
It wasn't super uncommon. I don't know if you've heard any of that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Right here.
So do you feel like with the rates on right now, it's put a damper on the market, or there isn't as many buyers out there?
How could we shorten that question up to be, because guys, here's the thing. If you ask a long, convoluted question, people get confused. They're like, what the crap's he asking? Right? How do I respond to this? And if they don't know how to respond where they feel confident, guess what they do? They shut down because they don't want to look like idiots. And if they shut down because they don't look like idiots, they're going to say, hey, can I get a card from you? Hey, I've got to run really quick. I've got to go do something. Can you get back with me? Can you come back at another time? And essentially what they're saying is, you just lost. You just lost your whole pitch. You just lost the deal because I'm not sure how to answer your question. And I don't want to look like an idiot. Make sure your questions are pointed, right? So how could we shorten that question up, Alex, to give them just a pointed, quick question that you for sure know they'll answer the right way?
Just say, do you feel like with where rates are, there aren't as many buyers on the market? In the market?
How do you think high interest rates have affected the number of buyers? Are there as many buyers with high interest rates?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Just very short, quick. Are there as many buyers with high interest rates? How many homes are on the market since interest rates went up versus when interest rates were low? Let's keep going.
Yeah, I think it's definitely slowed people down to where they couldn't afford it.
Yeah, and what do you think that does to your negotiating ability?
Like for me buying the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll probably help me.
How much do you think it'll help?
I don't know.
Okay, I wouldn't go into how much I think it'll help, because then you get to where you're interrogating it a little bit too much. But I just say, hey, if there's a ton of homes on the market and there's not very many buyers, how negotiable is the seller? Are you familiar with how much we're getting down off the list price right now due to the inventory? Alex, on your 8 houses you have under contract, what is an average, or 6 houses you have under contract, what is an average of purchase price you've brought down?
Average purchase price 50 to 60K.
50 to 60K. Okay.
But without, that's not taking into account concessions.
Correct.
So it's closer to like 70.
Yeah, but you're going to get to that on another level. Okay. Because I want you to be able to spell it out completely different. And here's probably where I would go. Do you know the difference between a buyer's market and a seller's market? And most people do that aren't real estate agents. Is it a buyer's market or a seller's market right now? It's a buyer's market. Why? And I'm going to have them tell me those answers. Because if they tell me as the buyer, they're right. And I'm getting them to tell me exactly why they should be buying right now. Because it's a buyer's market. And you can get a better deal. How much of a better deal can you get? I have 6 houses under contract and they've averaged about $60,000 under list price right now. Okay, you said, you can get more from a seller as well. How would it be if you guys were able to get them to cover your closing costs as well? Does that happen in a buyer's or a seller's market? For sure in a buyer's market, right? How much are closing costs typically? And even if they say, I don't know, Carter's holding up 2%. That's usually what I run off of, is 2% of the purchase price. $500,000 home, it's going to cost you 10 grand. but let's just be cheap here and let's say 5 grand. And notice how I'm going to do this, you guys. I'm going to always go cheaper every time. So if Alex is saying the average concessions that they're coming or purchase price they're dropping is 50 to 60K, I'm going to say 25. So I'm going to say 25K. I'm going to get you 5K in closing costs. Really, it's about 10, but I'm going to get you 5. So that's $30,000. Also, off your interest rates, if you were paying an additional $60,000 over list price, how much am I really saving you? If you were to wait until the market comes back up, how much am I really saving you? So if you figured 60,000 I'm paying over list, that flips out, then you've got $30,000 that I'm getting under list price right now, which is below what I'm going to get you. Also, I'm getting your closing costs paid for. What's the flip here? Is it really $30,000? Guys catching the math here? How much am I really saving them?
It's a lot more, like over 90, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you don't say 90 from the get-go. Why?
Because
Too good to be true.
Too good to be true. They're like, yeah, this guy's a joker. He's on my doorstep telling I'm going to save $90,000 if I'll buy sooner. You don't go that route. You always under promise. And then go to over deliver. Okay. Let's keep going.
I haven't put in the offers yet.
Yeah, have you heard of buyers getting closing costs covered by the sellers?
No.
And see, Alex, you could have covered a lot of that by just explaining, hey, do you know the difference between the buyers and sellers market?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because then you would get them to tell you all of the differences. And that's really what you want them doing. You want them doing all the talking and you're giving short pointed questions that guides the sell.
Okay, so I have about 6 homes under contract right now, and with all 6, they are with all 6, the sellers are paying for the buyer's closing costs.
That's great.
You know, over $15,000 for the buyer's closing costs, which is
so. How would this come across? If you're like, hey, I've got 6 under contract right now. Every one of them, I've got the seller to pay for the closing costs, and average is about 10 grand. I know without a doubt I can get the seller to pay your closing costs. How confident is that?
Crazy.
Why did you say that?
I don't know.
Well, what would that put the buyer in that situation to feel like if he says, dude, I know without a doubt I'm going to get them to pay your closing costs and I can get them to drop at least $30,000 to $40,000 off list price.
Sounds too good to be true.
I think that's pretty confident, especially if you've already done it and you have, 6 examples of that.
So, and if you, Wesley, it does sound too good to be true if you're throwing a crazy high number out there. But if you're saying, hey, on average, I'm bringing down people 50 to 60K. I know without a doubt I can get you 30K off. And if I can't, don't buy.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And be that blunt. Hey, if I can't do it, don't buy because I know I can do it. And I'll give you 100% money back guarantee that because you won't buy a house unless I can give you exactly what I'm telling you right now. How confident is it?
Very confident.
Right. And you got to deliver that confidence to people because you know your stuff. And they can tell that through the questions. And quite honesty, it's they've already sold themselves all the way through because you're question-based selling. Okay, let's keep going.
crazy, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Do you feel like when rates come down? Oh, and by the way, they're all under asking that we were under contract at. Do you feel like if
Kind of missed the boat there. Oops, let me go back and fix this. Hey, they were all under asking too. Hey, listen, people.
rates come back down, do you think that negotiating ability will go away?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if rates come down, there's more people in the market and the sellers will have a little bit more of an advantage, I would think.
Of course. Yeah, of course. How much are you expecting that interest rate change to save you?
I mean,
Okay, get blunt with that, Alex. Hey, if you drop from a 4% interest rate, do you know what he thinks rates are going to go to?
Not what he really knows. He threw out the number of 1.5, but
Right. But we kind of laughed. I said, I'd love to have it get there. What do I think real rates are? What do I think they would get to before I would jump and buy?
we never found out.
Would that be a good question to know?
That'd be a great one.
Okay. So that's a question you guys should be asking. Hey, what do you think rates are going to do? Because now you go from a 5.5% to a 4% interest rate. That's a 1.5%. What purchase price of home am I going to buy, Alex?
We didn't find that one out either.
Is that an important question to know?
Yes.
How can you evaluate how much money it's going to be without even knowing a purchase price or an interest rate?
You can't.
This is where we become the professional. Okay. Is we go, okay, $600,000 home. If rates drop 1%, that's going to save you about $450 a month. Now, $450 a month. When do you think rates will come down? They say 6 months. Awesome. Let's say a year, just to be extra careful and make sure I'm not, over promising you here. If you saved $400 a month by waiting, how much is that going to be over time that you feel like you're going to save? Let's say a year, it's $4,800, right? So I got a deal for you, Wesley. I'm going to give you $4,800, but I want you to give me back $55,000. Deal?
No,
Come on, brother. Hook me up.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. No deal.
Essentially, that's what you're doing right now by waiting. And I even went a year. I didn't go 6 months. I went a year out. But that's what you're doing. And everybody else is doing it too because they feel like the market's going to crash. They're waiting for those rates to come down before they buy. But you said it yourself. When rates come down, what's going to happen again, Wesley?
Price go back up.
Prices are going to shoot back up. Are they going to go back up more than $4,800?
A lot more.
So would it make sense to buy sooner?
Yeah.
Dude, that was easy.
It's a lot of questions to remember, though. I mean, like.
Do you know what, though, you guys? Alex has been doing this with me for over a year. And he's still missing some of the steps. And that's the question. I said, hey, what do you guys want to work on? Alex said, hey, door approach. So as we go through this, I'm going to teach you the steps. We're going to do so much of this role playing, you guys are going to get sick of it. But when you role play day in, day out like this, and we continue to go through a process, we've been going through this one objection for 40 minutes right now. This is just one of the objections. We'll dive into every objection. Okay. But the bottom line is, if you can learn this system to where when I say, Alex, you're up, or I say, Wesley, you're up, I say, go. And I pull out an objection that you have no clue what I'm going to pull out. And you have to have 20 to 30, maybe even 40 questions to walk me through a process. Will you be ready? That's what we're going to get you to do. That's what all this coaching is about, is to teach you how to question-based sell. I can tell you right now, that's why I close every 7 doors. They can't throw something at me that I can't answer because I've already got a pile of questions lined up and I know the steps and the processes that I will take them through to get them to say yes. And it's them saying yes every time. And when they say yes every time, because I ask the right questions, it's pretty easy to close them. Okay, let's keep going to where Alex is at, and then we're going to go back through and dissect a little bit.
Interest rates are high right now, so it would cost me quite a bit of money to buy now. That's probably why I'd hold off.
Yeah.
Notice how I came up with that question, Alex, or comment?
Yeah.
Why?
I didn't have a good question.
Well, not only that, but you didn't help me sell myself on how much it was going to cost. I
True.
still have no clue that it's going to be $4,800. I still think, what do most buyers think they're going to save with interest rates coming down lower?
They're going to save like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, a month.
Like a ton of money.
Yeah. Andy.
Oh, well, I didn't want to interrupt this
Oh,
train
please,
of
I
thought.
love you guys raising your hand. That's awesome.
So I had a question. What if they say that it is their forever home?
You really don't have much other than pitch them on an investment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was just like next lead pretty much.
It's a condition. I mean, if this is your forever home and you're going to die in it,
Yeah.
are you going to get them to transact this month?
No, definitely not. But then is there, I feel like people might just say that just because, just to like get you out.
So here's the thing with that. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
How many people have had a real estate agent knock on their door to say, hey, have you ever considered selling your home?
Not a lot.
So they're not trained in the fact to go, dude, if Andy knocks on my door, I'm going to tell him this is my forever home. That's going to blow him off the door and I'm set. Right?
Yeah.
Most people have never had a real estate agent come to their door ever.
Mhm.
And so once you get your questions down, you can't lose because they come up with the same objections every time.
And they could say that just to get you off, but that's okay. Just go to the next one anyway.
Right.
It'll be very few that do. Very few that do. So Alex, back to the thing. I mean, if you're diving into this and they already knew the number and it was $4,800, I wouldn't have to come out and go, dude, this is gonna be a lot of money. That's why I better hold off. Because now I'm still thinking in my mind, even though you've gone over all these things, I'm still thinking in my mind, it's a lot of money to pay this higher interest rate.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much do you think it will cost?
I don't know. I'd probably say $700 or $800 a month.
Okay, and over, 4 years, how much do you think that is?
Well, it's $700 a month times 12. That's 84 times 4 years. I'm about $32,000, 35,000.
Yeah, and just kind of with what we've talked about, sorry, I'm going in like a massive circle. With what we've talked about, do you feel like we could make up for that cost just with where the market's at right now?
Potentially. I mean, sounds like you're getting a little bit of a discount, and it sounds like it'd be a wash if you're saving some closing costs and getting a little bit of a discount.
Why am I thinking it's going to be a wash? And this is where I shut Alex down.
It's because I went off of the 4-year timeline. I didn't get your timeline right.
Well, and
Or
not
the
only did you go
price,
off a
or the
4-year
rate.
timeline, but you gave me a dollar amount of about 30 grand. Right? Rather than a dollar amount of, hey, $60,000, $70,000 and spelled it out. $60,000 to $70,000, 15 in closing costs of $75,000. Hey, let's cut that in half. It's really going to be, closer to 70, but I want to cut it in half. And then, yes, you missed the step of doing it off of rates changing in 6 months, asking that question. And so you kind of backed yourself into a hole where you're like, oh crap, I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yep.
We'll stop right there.
Cool.
That's where you stop.
Too big of a circle.
No, this is good. So
Okay, what are you guys learning from this?
I need to ask more questions.
Okay, more questions? What else? Kiana?
The questions asked matter.
Okay. Gotta echo there. Questions you ask matter. Does the pattern in which you ask the questions matter?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Huge, you guys. Huge. So you've got to have a flow. So homework, and I've been asking Carter and Alex to do this. I want you guys to write down a flow chart of this objection, of what questions you're going to ask first, how they're going to respond, and then where you take the process. I don't want you guys to shoot me an email with those. Dwayne@prexre.com. Or you can send it to admin with Ashley. You guys all have her email from her emailing you stuff, and she can forward it to me. But write down a flow chart of where you're taking each question. Okay, we're going to have a little bit of fun for the last 15 minutes just to show you guys what you're going to learn through this coaching program and why and how you're going to learn it. I'm just going to call on you randomly, and then I'm going to throw an objection at you. And then I want you to ask as many questions as you can until you run out. Okay. So Nathan, I think we want to use my mom, or actually my aunt. She's a real estate agent. Nathan, are you sleeping? He's sleeping. Michelle, I want to use my aunt.
My bad, man. I couldn't
You're
get
good.
back.
I'll catch you in just a second.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, you want to use your aunt. Okay, So hi, sir. So, oh, you want to use your aunt? Is she an agent here in Georgia, the state of Georgia?
Yeah, she is.
Okay. Has she closed any homes on your block? Because I was about to start telling. If she has, oh, gosh, have she closed any homes? And I mean, has she sold any homes here on your block?
No. Have
Oh,
you?
yes, I wanted to know if your neighbor spoke with you because I just listed her home for, well, I probably should say, yeah, I just listed her home for 500K, and she said that I should come and knock on your door and speak with you.
Right. Yeah. I just trust my aunt. Would probably use her anyway.
Does she do this full time?
Yeah.
Okay. Can she save you? Can she save you? Would you like to? Would you like to?
Let's pause right there.
Would you like to save on closing costs? Like,
Are you going to pay my
Well, I
closing
was
costs,
trying to-
Michelle? I love it. Michelle, I
Not
want you to pay my
closing
closing costs. Come on.
Well,
Okay, so how many questions
I
did you
could-
get, and how confident were you in
what
your
if I could get
questions?
the buyer to pay the closing costs?
Right, but my aunt could get the buyer to pay the closing costs too.
Okay.
Yeah, we for sure could do that.
But then-
How many good questions did you ask, and how confident were you in your questions right off?
Not confident.
Okay, so your questions were: is she an agent? Has she sold any homes on your block, and is she full-time? And that was kind of rambled over a minute and a half, right? Are they going to have interest in using you with those questions? Okay, so we're gonna fix that, right? All right, Nathan, you ready?
Oh, I'm not good at this one. I know I'm not.
Okay, we're not gonna do that one. I gotta pick a new one for you.
Okay, good deal.
All right, we gotta make sure that you're not having this easy. We gotta beat up on you guys. This is fun for me. So Nathan, we've been thinking about it, but I think we want to hold off.
Well, what's causing you to want to hold off?
It's just not a good time for us. I think the market's just gonna crash, and we're definitely don't want to overpay for a house.
Well, what is it that makes you feel the market's going to crash?
Oh, just, since interest rates have gone up, the prices have been plummeting throughout the county. And I think that they're not going to come down for any time soon. And we got, crazy politics going on and all kinds of craziness. So I think that, it'll just continue to come down.
It's funny that you mentioned politics. What do you think happens around election times?
Rates tend to go down because they want to stimulate the economy, right?
Right. And so election time will be here before we know it. And I would say that you're right. Rates are probably going to go down a little bit.
So the election's next year in November, right?
Yeah, right around the corner.
Yeah, I think we'd probably want to hold off till then. I think you're right, dude. I think we're going to come down quite a bit before then, though.
And so if things are going to come down sooner, what's going to happen to price if interest rates come on down?
Oh, I think the prices will go up, but I think it's probably gonna. I think you hit the nail on the head, Nathan. I think it's going to be right around election time next year in the fall. So I think we'll probably hold off to like 2024 in the fall. So I think you're right.
And well, what if they were going to come down sooner than that as well?
I don't know if they will. That's why we're just waiting to see what the market's going to do.
And see, you stumped me. you got me there.
Okay, we're going to work on that, right? You gave me a perfect out. I mean, you told me, hey, yeah, rates are going to come down with the presidential election. That's typically what happens. Where we should have went is we should have went into how much do you think rates will go down? Just the same pitch we just role played. Do you catch me? It was the same objection. Just ask the questions that are going to guide them to show them right now, you're only paying this much more. And if you wait till rates come down, if the prices are going to be clear up here, that's going to cost you a ton of money. Right? Even if you wait 3 years.
So that answer actually helps the process.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Good.
Right. where I got stumped, what you're saying though, I can use that to help through the pipeline, the sales process.
Oh, for sure.
And show them that now's an opportunity to save money, where if you wait, it's actually going to cost you money.
You got it.
Okay.
Right. And that's what your pitch should be all the time.
And that's
all the time, right? Keep
Yep.
going. Sorry.
for sure. Well, and I was gonna say that's why I'm here. Learn the
And
process.
you guys, we're gonna role play with every one of you, and I promise you, I'm gonna beat up on every one of you on your pitches. The purpose of doing that is so we can find out where you're having hangups. As you go out this next week, I want you to record yourself, see what questions you ask, see what pattern and order you ask them in, and did it get you the answer you wanted from each pitch, each question you gave? So if I said, so your questions was, why are you going to wait? Good question, because that gives me contents of what I can use. Why is it going to crash? Okay, so which also gives you good contents, not a bad question, because then you at least know where I'm coming from, why I think it's going to crash. Now what you've got to do is convince me it's not going to crash through questions, because right now I'm telling you it's going to crash. So you've got to ask enough questions that cause me to change my mindset that it's not going to crash. Okay. The next question is what happens in an election. So you picked a path, and your path was going to say, hey, elections come and rates come down. That's where I'm going to save you a bunch of money. But because you picked that path, it didn't open you up to all the other opportunities. And if you couldn't close me on the election, you're hosed and you got to start over with another door. Right? So picking a path is very dangerous, because if you don't hit the nail on the head, which is hard to guess why they're thinking that it's the best time to buy now, you're hosed. So make sure you're asking wide questions that let them tell you what's going to happen with the market. Okay. And then you started to mutter like, I don't know where I'm going to go from here. What will, and we kind of paused at that point. Right. So, Wesley, you ready, brother?
I'm ready.
So we just moved in here about 1.5 years ago. So we'll probably wait at least another 2 years before we move.
Okay. Why is you thinking about moving?
Oh, we like the house, but man, this builder did not do a good job. And so we would change a lot of things. It's the first time we've ever built. So we would change a lot of things.
Gotcha. And yeah, you mentioned 2 years. I mean, what's happening in 2 years?
Just feel like we'd have enough equity at that point to make it make sense to transition out.
Okay. Yeah. And okay, you'd have enough equity at that point. I mean, if I could save you some money now, what's stopping you from buying something right now?
I think it would cost us more money to sell by the time I pay you greedy real estate agents taking 6%. I mean, good crime. There's no money left on the bone.
Yeah, I got you. Well, do you think it's going to cost you more to buy in the future or now?
That's a good question. I think that the prices will go up, but my home will go up and so will the others. So it'll kind of be a wash. So I don't think my house price will go up as well, which means I'll have more equity and more to put down.
Gotcha. And what do you think will cause the prices to go up?
I just think rates will come back down and just standard inflation. I mean, good criminy rates. These home prices have jumped a ton in the last couple of years.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. And when do you think rates are going to come down?
I think they'll probably come down in the next 8 months, year.
Yeah, sounds about right. And I know the next I'm right on the path. It's just like
you are. So tell me what you're trying to get me to know that. And this is one thing that I want to teach all you guys. You got to know where you want to take me before you even start talking. What things. So let's talk about this. As a brand new home buyer, they've been in 1.5 years. How much equity do you think they have in their house?
Not much.
Okay. Let's say last year they went up 12 to 15%. So on a $50,000 house, they went up $60,000 bucks. Okay. What do you want to teach them that's going to cause them to want to move now?
that the prices are down now that they could buy at cheaper. I mean, the equity in their house, I'm not sure what you mean. What do I want to teach them about their house?
Right. So, I mean, they've been at a year and a half, and that was my main objection to you, right, Rusty, is I want to wait another 2 years to where I have more money in it. So you sleazy real estate agents don't take all my money. Right.
Yeah.
And so how can I make it a win-win through questions that you can make it happen right now?
Well, I guess I can sell your house at a price that'll get you the money you want. But I don't know if I can do that in this market, but.
Right. So how are you going to pitch them? Because that's going to be a hard sell. I agree with you.
Well, I guess, I mean, the only thing I can think of is because prices are lower now, buying would be cheaper than it would be in the future. That's the only thing I could think of. I think there's another path.
I like where you're going. With this. What do you need to know? You're missing a key factor.
What do they need? They need to know that.
What do you need to know to close them and help them understand it? Am I buying a more expensive home or a cheaper home?
Oh, yeah. Are they downsizing or buying something bigger?
Okay. And why does that matter?
Because that will tell me if they are looking for, it will tell me if, I don't really know why it matters. I'm not gonna lie.
No, that's good. That's why we're here, right? So let's say you have a $600,000 house here and you've got a $400,000 house here. Which one's going to appreciate more each year?
The more expensive one will appreciate.
Why?
Because by percentage, it's gonna, if it's 10%, you're getting 60,000 more on a
versus a 40,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what's our average appreciation rate over the last 5 years?
Give or take, what, 11%, something like that.
Okay. You can say 10%. That's easy math.
Yeah.
So what do you think the market's going to do or has done since rates have jumped? Do you think there's a lot of buyers that have waited?
Definitely buyers are waiting.
Okay. You're waiting because you're waiting for the prices to come down. How many people are there out there just like you?
Probably everyone else with the brain is thinking of waiting.
I agree with you. Tons of people are doing the same thing. So when those rates drop, how much of a huge pop are you going to see on prices?
You're going to see a bunch of buyers and increase the prices.
Okay. Now, on a more expensive home, if the prices go up quite a bit more, how much more money are you going to lose versus doing it sooner when there's not as many buyers?
Going to lose a lot more money because house is bigger and it's going to go up by more.
Okay, so let's just make it simple math. And I want to make this just super easy for you. And I'm going to save you a lot more money than this. But if we just went off inflation alone, not market, not multiple offers, not closing costs, not anything. And we just said on a $400,000 house, how much are you going to increase on your home in with a 10% interest rate per year?
It's going to be 40 grand.
40 grand. Okay. On a $600,000 home, how much is that going to be per year at 10%?
60 grand.
Okay. And do you know the appreciation scale, how that works?
Well, it compounds every year.
Okay. But do you know which homes appreciate more?
Oh, well, yeah, the bigger home will appreciate more.
Okay. So let me just teach you that. So the condo appreciates least, the townhome, the single family home, the luxury home. But once you get up into that 600,000 range, you're now in luxury. I'm giving it the same comparison at 10%. It'll actually be more than that. Okay. But bottom line is 60,000. So you got a $20,000 a year gap. Correct? And you said you wanted to wait a couple of years?
Yeah, 2 years.
So how much is that going to cost you if you waited 2 years and you're losing at a bare minimum $20K a year?
Well, if I'm losing, you said I'm losing 20K a year, it's gonna be 40 grand.
Right. Because you're missing that gap. You get me?
Yeah. Gotcha.
And that's not even counting what we could do now on getting you better prices. Let me ask you this. In a down market, which home's going to sell quicker? A $400,000 house or a $600,000 house?
Sell quicker? I'd say the 400,000.
Why?
I'd say just because, less people have the money to afford an expensive house. I don't know.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
Oh, oh, you said why? Like I was wrong.
You get how I'm questioning you as a client?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
does
yeah,
that.
right? And you answered it exactly how a client would answer it.
yeah, like on edge and like nervous because like I sounded like I was. Yeah, I got you.
Do you get me? Do you see how I'm pitching that? Do you see
Yeah,
how
it
I
was-
flip that around on you? And now I'm walking you through the exact steps that you
Mhm.
should be taking with your client, because you were defending your pitch of why, right? And you're like, because there's probably, more people can afford a $400,000 house. Well, yeah, dude. So that being said, do you think we can get a better deal on a $600,000 house right now, being
Yeah,
a buyer's market?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And do you think you'll actually get more out of your house right now because more people can afford it with higher interest rates?
Oh, yeah, that's great as well. Yeah.
How many questions did I just ask you there?
At least 15, probably something like that.
Do you notice how I walked you through that whole process of why you need to sell right now, even though you've only been in your house a year and a half?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know how you could do that because that just sounded like a crazy ask to ask someone to move that just got there. But
it is.
Yeah, it does make sense. It's like a flow chart of questions.
Yep. And you just have to know the process. You got to take them just down through the process. And if you do it right, you'll close them every time.
Gotcha.
Guys, this hour went super quick.
Yeah.
We're going to do this every week. So what homework assignments do you guys have? Do you got those down?
Flow chart.
Flow chart.
Flow chart.
Okay. Record. How many recordings can you guys get me this week?
Shit, we can record every contact, right?
Record your contacts. I'd love to have some of them for you. Shoot them to Ashley as well. And then I'm going to pick a couple of them that you guys are getting so we can work on real live objections that you're getting right now in the market to change your business. You guys, I want stuff under contract from you guys this next week. And I know we can get it if we can just get your flow down and get you guys prospecting. How many contacts should you guys be making per week? Where you actually talk to somebody and ask them. A contact is, have you ever thought about buying a house or selling a home or know anyone else who has?
If you're not hitting 1,000, you're doing it wrong. 1,000 per week.
8,000?
1,000.
1,000 a week. Alex, I would love it if you could get 1,000 a week. This kid doesn't do 100.
I've never door knocked in my life, so I've only done calls. So
Okay.
I'd say
it's way better.
Yeah, I'd say over the phone, I'm not consistent, probably like 300, if that.
Okay. I want you guys to set a goal this week to do 200 contacts. Okay. That's going to be 40 per day. 40 per day in which you go out and have a real estate conversation and question-based sell them. Okay. Can you guys hit that?
Per week, I was saying 200-300 per month. That was
And you've been slacking, Wesley. We got to step up your game.
Hey man, look, that's why I'm here. I'm trying to improve.
My bare minimum in my office for people I coach is 150 contacts. That's 30 per day.
Got you.
And you should be able to crank out 30 per day. Alex, what's the most contacts you've done in a day?
100.
Okay. 100 in a day.
That sucked.
And it does. I did 100 contacts in a day and I made $44,000 that day.
What the hell? How
So
many hours is that?
it was about 12 hours. You can't do it in less than 12 hours. Maybe 14 hours. But if you could go make 40 grand in a 12-hour period, would you do it?
Oh shit, I do that every day. I mean, I say that, but I probably wouldn't.
How about if you made $12,000 in a 12-hour period? Would you do it? $1,000 an hour?
Yep.
So what I'm saying, dude, if you'll just put in the work and you'll do 12 hours hard, all you got to do is get one sale. That's it. And that's what people don't realize. There should be nothing we should be doing other than prospecting. That's it. And what most people do is they get tied up in the drama of other things. They get tied up in showings. They get tied up in all the other stuff. When in reality, we make way too much money. Have you guys figured out your hourly rate? What are you guys worth an hour?
80.
$80 an hour. Nathan, what you got?
200
$200 an hour. Okay. So I base my salary off of Kiana. What do you got?
Mine was 106.
106. That's money. That's money. Okay, so what I based mine off of a 40-hour work week, which in reality, I only do about an hour and a half to 2 hours a day of real estate. And I'm still over $1,500 an hour, which tells me if I ran it off the hour and a half to 2 hours of real estate I'm doing, I'm probably making 10 to 15,000 bucks an hour. But the bottom line is, if you're doing a job that you wouldn't pay somebody else $200, $106, $80 an hour for, you shouldn't be doing it. Right? If you're not going to pay someone that much money to do it, you shouldn't be doing it, because that's really what you guys are doing. You're paying people to do something that you're doing that's costing you $80 an hour when you could pay someone $25 an hour to go do it, or $20 an hour to do it. And you're netting more money in your pocket. So go hit those goals today. Flow chart, 200 contacts. I want to see how close you get. And we're going to keep a tally here, you guys. I'm going to send you these recordings. And then if you guys will shoot me a text of the top 3 things you learned today, that would be awesome.
Got it.
Okay, guys, have a good afternoon.
All right, cool.
Yeah, we'll see you, man.